everybody, and welcome to UNA USA Women on the HERizon, where global conversations meet women's leadership and change-making energy. I'm your host, Beverly Issa, joined by my brilliant co-chair and co-host, Rory Monshine. Tonight, we're honored to welcome two powerhouse women leading the way for UNA USA Women. Our esteemed chairs, Lady T. Thompson and Dr. Marianne Obidike. Together, we'll explore the vision, impact, and momentum driving this incredible community forward. So settle in because the future is truly on the horizon.
Thank you so much, Beverly. It's truly a pleasure to be here in my capacity as the co-chair of UNA Women's Podcast and YouTube Committee. So I'd like to start out by asking our speakers one quick question. What does reimagining women's leadership mean to you personally?
Me, reimagining women's leadership, thank you so much for that, means restoring balance, redefining power. It's about shifting from control to connection, from competition to collaboration. As a public health professional, I see leadership not just about the titles, but about the art of healing the system. I see it as creating space where empathy, the evidence, equity context. Reimagining leadership means women leading with others. We are leading with others, not over them, but transforming with them, for them, policies, communities, mindset through inclusion and courage. It is leadership rooted in purpose, where impact is measured not by authority, but by how many lives we as women have lifted. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you. So let's jump into question number 2. What are some of the greatest obstacles women continue to face in attaining leadership roles, both visible and invisible?
Visible barriers are structural: wage inequity, caregiving burdens, and policy gaps. Women globally still earn 77 cents for every dollar earned by men, and nearly 600 million women remain outside of the formal labor force due to unpaid care responsibilities. But the invisible barriers are psychological, the biases embedded in language and perception. It's the trust deficit when competence must be proven twice, yet mistakes count twice as much. This is the silent tax of invisibility that women pay every day. True reform must be holistic. Policies, pipelines, and perceptions must evolve together.
That's truly an interesting answer as well, especially when we're thinking about how we have to take a holistic approach, how it's not just siloed, right? So I guess the third question that we have for our esteemed chairs is, the work of UNA Women advances global gender equality, promoting democracy, economic growth, and stability. Can you share how this benefits and contributes to the goals of the United States and the global goals overall?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rory. UN's Women Mission, of course, aligns deeply with the US priorities around democracy, around peace, and around sustainable development. If you know, gender equality is not just about the moral goal, it's about public health and economic one. And you also know that when the US invests in women's empowerment globally, it is also investing in its own democratic strength. That we should know very well. Women are safe, they are educated and economic active. We see healthier families because we've empowered women with, of course, we've empowered generation, especially in this new era of intergeneration women global context. Through our work with the UNA USA Women Affinity Group, we have firsthand how local advocacies, whether it's by mentoring, whether it's by advancing inclusive policies, by discussing women issues, by bringing it to the table, and also using like the grassroots advocacies from a bottom-top approach to a top approach. This will enable us to get all it takes to see that the priorities of women are met at the global level. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insight. And it is important to highlight that as well. Our next question is, what key strategies or initiatives is UN Women advancing to close the gap on gender equality?
I really thank you for asking this question. I like to scream from the rooftop. UN Women is our axiom for all women. UN Women is anchoring transformation through 4 interlocking pillars that transcends borders and time zones. The first pillar is economic empowerment. Programs such as We Empower Asia, Buy for Women, they have connected over 50,000 women entrepreneurs to global value change. Number 2, ending violence against women. The Spotlight Initiative has had a $500 million partnership with the European Union, which has reached over 1.6 million women and girls with prevention and protection services. And I'm happy to say, during the United Nations General Assembly 80, just a few weeks ago, the world witnessed the launch of the Spotlight Initiative 2.0, a renewed compact led by UN Women, the EU, and the UN Development Coordination Office. And this next phase, oh my goodness, is tackling digital violence, sextortion-based trafficking, and climate-related gender risk, using AI and data-driven accountability systems to reach 100 million women and girls by 2030. And the third pillar, leadership and governance, the Women, Peace, and Security agenda ensures women's voices shape peace building. Peace agreements with women's participation are 35% more likely to last at least 15 years. And the fourth and final pillar, climate and digital justice. The feminist climate justice framework addresses the fact that 80%, yes, 80% of climate displaced persons are women. These are not programs, they are pathways to parity. Thanks for the question.
That's super interesting too, because we're learning about all of these different actions that are going on the global level. And I guess that leads me to my next question about how can UNA USA members and local chapters work to support these efforts? What actions can we take to empower women and girls locally, nationally, and internationally so that they can be involved with these types of initiatives?
Thank you so much. I will start that question by saying we can start right where we are. We can start here in your office, in your spaces, even within this podcast. We are starting here and we're not ending. The UNA USA chapters are powerful bridges that we have between the global values and the local action. So members can do a lot, like organizing community dialogues on women equity. They can also host workshops on digital safety and inclusion. We can do as much as partner with local organizations. There are a lot of local organizations within the counties, within the states that we can all partner with, advancing women's rights and leadership. We can also, with the new intergenerational perspective that we have now, we can also mentor young women and girls, nurturing their confidence, because the women and girls, the young women and girls are taking over, nurturing their confidence, the voice, the capacity to lead. That's one key thing. Mentorship isn't just about guidance. We know that it is transformational. When you see some statistics, according to the UN Women in 2024, it says only 26% of parliament seats worldwide are held by women. So what is that saying to us? It means that we have less than 5% of CEOs globally as female. So those statistics is not just number, we're talking about humans. Those numbers tells us why local action matters, because representation still has a long way for us to go. So as UNA USA members, we can lead platforms by amplifying women's change makers, mobilize especially around the SDGs, and build coalitions together, and also center equity in policy around our discussions. Even at events, we can post, we can partner with a larger global movement and all of that. And then we can also link the local voices to the global mission. So it's not going to end at the local platform. Great kudos to UNA USA Women that have all the platforms to bringing people together from the local to the state and to the national, which eventually, transmits into the global sphere. So by linking all of these global voices to the mission of the UN Women, UNA USA members can help transform equity into a global goal. Thank you.
I love that. And our UNA USA community is so powerful. So that leads me into my next question. What can we do as the UNA USA community to individually and collectively help women and girls recognize their value and step fully into leadership?
Individually, we must replace self-doubt
Mm.
with self-data. We need to track our growth, name our value, and mentor without permission. Collectively, we must build ecosystems of enoughness, spaces where women are not surviving, but leading out loud. A girl cannot become what she cannot see. So let us be the mirrors, not merely mentors. Let us reflect her possibility until she believes it herself. Leadership is not a destination, it's a daily declaration. I am enough and my dignity is non negotiable. That's what we can do individually and collectively. Remind ourselves I am enough and my dignity is non negotiable.
I love that. I am enough and my dignity is non-negotiable. That's going to be my new catchphrase. So I guess that leads me to our final question. Looking ahead, what gives you the most hope about the next generation of women leaders, both here and around the world?
Thank you so much, Shirley. I am enough. And that's what gives me hope, is the first hope I have to say I am enough. And when you look at the next generation of women leaders, oh God, fearless. Everybody seems to be fearless. Everybody is bringing all they have to the table. They know the onions and they know how to peel it. And every authenticity that we have, this is not just waiting for permission. It's not about sitting down and letting somebody call you. When we say they are not just sitting at the table, we are bringing the table. We are bringing the table, we are bringing the chairs, and we're making the coffees and the tea and ensuring that everybody sip from our coffee and tea. We are innovating, we are building, leading ways that are deeply inclusive and intersectional. As public health scholar, I'll always try to bring that to the forefront. I am inspired by how I combine data, empathy, social justice, and how I lead both the heart and in evidence. The next generation women, which includes me, we are moving from awareness to action. We are not afraid for the challenge that we see, the systems. We are redefining the system. We are making the systems functional. We are building the system upon a system. And then it is for us to be kind. Next generation women has to be kind. So we are bringing that compassion. We are bringing what leadership truly is. It is not hierarchy. It is not title, but it is visibility for everybody. We are bold, we are collaborative, and we are grounded in what we call innovation and sustainability. And seeing all of this gives me the immense hope. And I will say by saying, I am enough and it's non-negotiable. Thank you.
I loved that answer. And, this question was just so inspiring that I want to also throw it over to Lady T, if that's okay, to answer the same question about what gives you hope for the future.
What gives me hope is that the next generation isn't waiting for permission. They're writing their own blueprint across continents. Gen Z and Gen Alpha women now lead 41% of new social enterprises. 41%. And they are coding climate solutions, advocating for digital justice, and reimagining governance. At UNGA 80, youth delegates stood shoulder to shoulder with heads of states, and at the launches of, as I've mentioned previously, the Spotlight Initiative 2.0, they have been engaged in Digital Century Compact, They are purpose first, data driven, and fearless in truth telling. Globally, 67 of women under 35 identify as global citizens. And those aren't my statistics. That's the UN Foundation statistics from 2024. 60% of youth led organizations are now headed by women or gender diverse leaders. Women under 30 outnumber men in higher education in over 126 countries. They are bridging divides between activism and analytics, justice and innovation, empathy and evidence. They're not inheriting a movement, they're involving one. So hope itself is a strategy, and they are already implementing it. So my hopefulness is for them, for young folks, young people, to continue to allow intergenerational individuals such as myself to stand right beside them and remind everyone that their dignity is non-negotiable.
I love it. Our UNA USA Women Chairs, Lady T and Dr. Marianne, are so inspiring. Thank you for tuning in to UNA USA Women on the Horizon. A heartfelt thank you to our amazing guests, Lady T. Thompson and Dr. Marianne Obidike, for sharing their wisdom and inspiration with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to follow, share, and join the UNA USA Women community as we continue to elevate women's voices and global leadership, one story at a time. Until next time, I'm Beverly Issa with my co-chair and co-host, Rory Monsheen, reminding you that when women rise, the world rises with us. Thank you.